started with my makeup, I actually did my hair in this Marie Antoinette style, and if you want to see a video on how to do that, I will actually link it below because I did show that in a video so you can recreate it. Now let's get started on the makeup. Now the first thing I'm going to do is swab off my neck with some alcohol, just some rubbing alcohol. This is just to remove any kind of oil or whatever is on my skin so that the special effects makeup will really stick. Then I'm going to trace out where I want my neck slash, and I'm just going to use a nude colored pencil for that and just kind of trace out where I want it and kind of do it below where you have the natural folds in your neck. That is the easiest. Now I'm going to use Kryolan Artex for this. This is a 2-part component silicone product that hardens. You're also going to need some spatulas with it because you don't want to mix them together because they do sort of coagulate. You'll need a palette to work on and a spatula. So these are kind of just some basic special effects tools. So I'm going to take the Kryolan Artex. These are 2 components, like I said. You mix them together, and once they are mixed, they start to activate and they start to harden quite quickly. So you want to do this in different layers so that you don't get too much product out and then have it wasted. And then I started to apply it with that tool that I have with the metal spatula that I have. Then I'm just kind of applying it along the line. So you want kind of it to work into your skin so it looks really smooth, and then the edge should be kind of thicker and looking like it's going into the skin, like into a wound. I don't know, you guys know what I'm trying to say here? So this is kind of a tricky process. This is something that you might need some help with, but just practice at it. And this tip I got from Goalie Starling here on YouTube. She told me to use a brush to wipe out the edges so that it looks really clean, and that was such a good tip. Thanks, Angie. Check out our channel. She does really great special effects makeup as well. So I kind of used the paintbrush just to blend out the edges so that they're smoother, and then I kind of went back in with the spatula, that's funny, and kind of just built up that edge a little bit more. So kind of is a long process. This really is just a matter of practicing. So I finished up the bottom half, and then I went ahead and did the top half. So I mixed again some new product up because it does dry pretty quickly, so it ends up drying on your workspace. So once you've got it how you like it, you definitely want to give this enough time to harden and to dry. So I'm actually using a fan just to speed up the process a little bit. You don't want to start working on it before it's completely dry because otherwise the mold will kind of change shape. So just give it really enough time to be very dry and solid. Once it's all dried up, you want to set it with some powder. So I'm using the Ben Nye Neutral Set. This is a really great all-around powder. You can use it for regular makeup as well. And I just set that with a big powder brush. Just do it a bit gently so that you don't ruin the mold that you've created there. Then I'm going to take the edge of my spatula or my work tool, and I'm going to kind of make the edges look a bit creepier. So I'm kind of going in and making them a little bit more jagged because you want that edge to look a little bit disgusting and gross. So I'm kind of just working the edges away. Don't pull it away too much because otherwise it's just going to fall off, but kind of just work on those edges to make them look a little bit more ripped up. Now I used an airbrush machine to do my foundation. Now if you don't have this, you can do it just with regular foundation, and you're just gonna have to use a lot more because you're gonna have to put it all down your neck. So this is why I decided to use my airbrush gun, but if you don't have this, don't worry, just use regular foundation. And you just wanna use a really light colored foundation. So if you have really dark skin, this might not be such an easy look to pull off because you want her to look really pale and ghostly. But you know, try it. Just try a foundation that's too light for you basically, and just make sure you really blend that in. And I also did that down my neck and basically anywhere where the costume's going to show, and also of course across the wound. So that's why I used it, because I don't want to use a brush to like ruin the mold that I've created. So once I've got my ghostly glow, I set everything with lots and lots of powder because powder was really essential to the makeup on that time period. So I set everything with lots of powder. Then I actually used a highlight powder by Kryolan, and I wanted sort of a ghostly glow, and I put that basically everywhere. So across my face and then also along like my collarbone, and it just kind of gives me this sort of ethereal glow to my face. And I wanted to do some light contouring to make her look a bit dead, a bit sort of hollowed out. So I used a very light gray eyeshadow. This one's also by Kryolan, and an angled brush. This is more like a fan brush, and just did some contouring, you know, in the edges where I want them to recede. So kind of along the edge of my face, below my cheekbones, and also sort of everywhere that your skin kind of goes in. So I kind of sucked in my neck and added it to the hollows of my collarbone there. And then I'm gonna work on the eyes. So I just added a really light eyeshadow onto the lids and just buff that all across the lid base. And then in the crease, I just used that same light gray eyeshadow again, that sort of matte color, and just used that to put some definition back into my crease. And I used that highlighter shade from before just to highlight under my brow. So the eyes are really simple. I mean, I don't really want to do super elaborate eye makeup because that wasn't very typical of the period. Then I also added a shadow below my eyes, like on the lower lash line. For my eyelashes, I wanted white lashes, sort of grayish white lashes. So I'm actually using a white aqua color by Kryolan and using an empty mascara spoolie and just working that in with some water onto the spoolie and then using it like mascara. Now, this is kind of messy because it is very wet. It's not like a typical mascara. So, I mean, I made a little bit of boo-boos here, but I just really wanted to paint that onto my lashes. And yes, doesn't everyone make that awkward mascara face when they're putting it on? I mean, I definitely do. So let's move right on, okay? And I also wanted to have those grayish eyebrows. So first I used, again, that white aqua color with the mascara spoolie and just put that across my brows. And then I used that gray eyeshadow from earlier and just added in my brows again. Kind of, they look a bit grayish, sort of spooky-ish, almost like as if she's got gray hair in her face. Now for blush, I definitely wanted some blush going on, so I used a very light pink. It just dusted that right onto the apples of my cheek in a very sort of round shape. And I also added these false lashes. These are again by Kryolan, and these are really finicky lashes. They're very plasticky, and they're honestly a little bit uncomfortable, but they looked so cool with this look. I think they're just perfect for it. They look kind of, I don't know, they look like frozen lashes or something like that. I just thought they looked really spooky. So I put on my costume now, and then I did the lips kind of in that heart shape. So I added the lipstick in this very rose color, sort of in a heart shape. So not doing my whole lips, just kind of in the center. And you can also use a lip brush if you want to just apply it a bit more evenly. That might be easier as well. And now I'm going to work on the special effects wound again, once again. So I'm using this character wheel by Kryolan. This is kind of like a bruise wheel. This is really good for making black eyes and bruises and stuff like that. So I used a sponge and just kind of blended the different colors together on the back of my hand, and then just tried to make some bruising going on there on the neck, so it just looks really bruised from the actual wound. Next, I used a little bit of this fake blood, also by Kryolan. This is the transparent Filmblut, and I used a natural sea sponge because this makes a really cool texture with the blood. And I kind of dabbed that all around the wound, so it kind of looks like the blood is just kind of splattered onto her neck or something like that. And then again, I went in with that character wheel again and just filled in the inside part of the wound, just with that dark red color, just to kind of get a base color going there, because I don't want it to look sort of skin color. I want it to look like a wound. And I didn't do it all the way around my neck simply because my hair is in the back there, so I just kind of did it on the front. But you know, you can do it all the way around your neck. It might be a little bit hard to see what you're doing, but I went ahead and stippled a little bit more blood on at this point so that it looks a bit more intense. And then I used this other special product by Kryolan. It's called Fresh Scratch, and this is basically this gummy texture that you use to fill in wounds, and it kind of looks like the flesh that's oozing out. I know it sounds like really gross, but it is a perfect product for this. It kind of has the consistency of a very thick strawberry jam, and I used my spatula again to fill in the wound with this bright red color. So this is a very bright red, so that doesn't look super realistic, but I'm going to add on to that in a second. So I just filled that in. And I also have this in another color. I think this is the dark one, and it's the slightly darker color, and you want to put this into the middle now, so it kind of looks like it's receding deep into the wound. So you don't want to mix this together completely with the bright red. You kind of want the bright red on the outer side and then the darker on the center, so it kind of looks like it's going really deep in into the flesh and like just a really meaty, gross wound. So it starts to look a lot more realistic at this point. Now again, I went back in with the fake blood, and just on a Q-tip, I wanted to have a few places where it looked like it was kind of oozing out. Now you can do as much or as little as you want. I didn't want too much because then I thought that was kind of going to just ruin the whole look of the open wound. So I just did a few dribbles kind of going down the neckline, and you can really, you know, play with how much you want to apply here. And then that's what it should look like with that oozing out blood at this point. So you can also do different things. You can add stitches, you can add staples like I did in my last look to kind of make it look like the head's been reattached. So it's really up to you. And this costume is the perfect costume for this look. It's from buycostumes.com. I got all my Halloween costumes this year, and it's the perfect dress for it. It's like a ghostly Marie Antoinette look. I actually have a coupon code in the info bar. If you want to use it, you can order it online and you get 20% off, I believe. So really good deal, and this dress was so perfect for it. I really loved it. It comes with all the petticoats and everything. And I also had this fan that I thought would make a really great accessory. So I think we are done with this Marie Antoinette look. This was the most time-consuming video I've made since my Lara Croft Tomb Raider cosplay video. Definitely it's the most time-consuming one of my Halloween videos this year, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate if you did give it a thumbs up and leave your comments down below letting me know what you thought of it, because yeah, I love doing this. I love this freaking hairstyle. I just don't want to get out of this costume. So if you're interested in the hairstyle, I'll have the video linked below for the Marie Antoinette hairdo, so you can make it yourself. And make sure to also check out my Halloween playlist below, because if you're still stumped for a Halloween look this year, I've got tons of ideas, so make sure to go check out those series. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel, and have a really safe and happy and fun Halloween, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye everyone.